Kia ora tātou, Madeleine Lynch here again from Timbray Theatre Company, and today I'm luckily being joined by Robyn Belton, who is the illustrator for the Greedy Cats books. So welcome, Robyn, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me, and Greedy Cat.
Yes, so tell me, how did you and Joy Cowley and Greedy Cat meet up and become a team?
Well, it was a very long time ago now, in 1979. Can anyone remember that? There was a special conference called Ready to Read conference. The Department of Education wanted to make a whole lot of new school readers for children, and they invited a whole lot of people, writers, illustrators, teachers for the deaf, blind, all sorts of wonderful, wonderful speakers. And that's when I met Joy Cowley. And every day we would be given lots of information about what the readers might look like and what content might be in the books. And then at night we would go and we would work. And one wonderful night, this was my lucky day, when Joy Cowley wrote this little story, and she knocked on my door and said, "I've just written a story about a very fat cat. Can you quickly do some drawings for it and we'll present it to the meeting next morning?" And that's what we did. And that became the first book that was used in the whole of the reading series, Greedy Cat.
And that's the book there.
And that's the book there.
Wow. And how many books, do you know how many books you've illustrated for Greedy Cat?
Yes, now there are 15. 15 Greedy Cat books. The lovely thing is, last year, Joy and I were asked to do 5 new Greedy Cat books for a new generation of little readers. And we were so chuffed, so thrilled to be asked after all this time. Greedy Cat is still happily wending his wicked ways and helping children read.
And
So,
you've got an illustration there from the latest, from those books from last year's, the Greedy Cat and the Chooks.
Greedy Cat and the Chooks. I'll show it to you, shall I? Then I'll show you the book. I hope you can see this. You can see that the Chooks. Oh,
gorgeous.
The Chooks are not very happy with Greedy Cat here.
Yeah. Is that the original?
No, this isn't the original. I've made this bigger so I could take it around and show children. When we first did the books, we went and tried them out in schools, and I made the pictures bigger so that children could see them. But this is the little reader of Greedy Cat and the Chooks. That was such fun to do that. And of course, Greedy Cat again gets his comeuppance and tries to eat all the chook food. Oh, and the other character that's in this book.
Yes.
And the children will recognise this straight away as cross old Auntie.
Oh, yes.
Auntie, who's the one who put Greedy Cat on a diet in the first place, on a diet of broccoli. Greedy Cat was not impressed, and so he was forced to go down to the local school and at lunchtime, and the children felt very sorry for him and they gave him their lunches. I love that story.
That is a gorgeous story.
So Auntie is a wonderful character, I think. I love the way Joy Cowley in this story has Auntie flapping a tea towel at Greedy Cat and trying to shoo him away from her beloved chooks.
How lovely.
Yes.
So do you ever base these characters on people you know at all? The characters that you've illustrated?
Yes. Yes, I do, I suppose. Well, the very first book, when Joy Cowley first wrote Greedy Cat, it had 2 characters, Mum and Greedy Cat. And I thought, actually, these books need a child in them. They need a child who's just about to start school and learn to read. They need to see themselves in the pictures. And who should be sitting under my work table at the time but my little daughter, Katie, who was 4 years old at the time and just about to start school herself. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice to just put, not in the words, Joy didn't change the words, but we just put the little person in the pictures. And so in the next book, Greedy Cat is Hungry, Joy did a very kind thing. She wrote Katie's name into the words as well. And so they became partners in crime, the Greedy Cat and Katie. And so they continue right the way through all of the Greedy Cat books now.
Oh, look, hold that up. Let's have a look at the, oh.
And I'll show, and this is the page where we first see that Katie's name is in the story. I hope Katie will forgive me for this.
Oh, yes, I know that picture. That's gorgeous. What a wonderful legacy for Katie.
Well, I hope she doesn't mind.
I'm sure she didn't. And so these books have new characters introduced to them. Have you got any new characters in the latest books?
Oh yes, there's a new character. This little character, I think there's a new little dog. Now this will be a challenge for a Timbray theatre.
Wouldn't it? Oh, look at that gorgeous dog.
Isn't that dog gorgeous? That's Poppy. And the lovely thing about it is that Poppy, I'll show you, is a real little West Highland Terrier belonging to Katie. So that makes
Katie's dog.
She's Katie's dog. And so she's made her way into a book. Actually, how it happened is one day, Joy and I were talking and I just scribbled a drawing on the back of a brown envelope of a little white dog and going up to Greedy Cat, and a great big orange Greedy Cat and this little white dog looking at each other, and Greedy Cat looking extremely disapproving, and the little dog wanting to wag its tail and play. And Joy said, oh, that's a good idea for a story. And then we didn't do anything for it, and years later, all these years later, she wrote this.
That idea just seeded and stayed there.
Yes, must have stayed in her mind, and it was such a lovely, lovely thing to do.
Oh. I can see beautiful illustrations all behind you. You're in your workroom at the moment.
Yes, this is where it all happens.
Oh, we have a look at the table. Look at your workspace.
Oh, shall I show you? Show you my messy workroom. Here we go.
Isn't that the sign of a creative mind? Having a messy workroom. Oh, look, there's Greedy Cat. Here's some watercolors. What's this here? The cutout. I can see there's legs all dismembered.
Oh yes, there's that's a little cutout thing I give for the children to make, and so they can take home their own Greedy Cat. Here's one that's made up.
Wait, just hold it a little bit higher. Let's have a look.
This one?
Yes. Oh, look at the face on that cat. And there he is in the corner by the window as well.
There he is in the corner by the window.
Does Greedy Cat live there permanently?
He does seem to. Actually, that's a wonderful thing. I've just realised what it says. Il Gato Goloso. That was once he was put into a Spanish school reader, and I always thought, what a fantastic title, Il Gato Goloso.
Okay, so that's the title of the book in Spanish. That is very onomatopoeic. Do you enjoy visit schools a bit with the Greedy Cat books?
Very often. I wish we could visit together but I often go visiting schools here in Dunedin, and that's a great pleasure, just meeting the children who are using the books. I love that. Yes. And love hearing how they write their own wonderful stories and tell me stories too.
Yeah. And you've got I think an illustration. You're doing something for a young girl. Yes, is that the one in your hand?
This one.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yes, yes. Just lift it a bit higher where you can see it's Greedy Cat and the sausages. Oh.
It's a tug of war. There's a tug of war with Poppy the dog.
Yes.
Yes, that's for a little girl who was having real difficulty in learning English and learning to read. And her teacher told me that the book that she liked most of all and went to every morning was Greedy Cat. So I was thrilled about that.
That's wonderful. And I know that somewhere you've also, what's this?
Oh, the postage stamp there?
Oh, yes, yes. So Greedy Cat, he's made it beyond the books into a little bit of New Zealand history.
He made it into a health stamp. Now that was a crazy thing. That was very funny, because when New Zealand Post called Joy, no, I lost you, Madeline, but hang on, here we go. Yes. Called Joy Carley and asked if they could put Greedy Cat onto a health stamp, and Joy said, "A health stamp? Greedy Cat?" That gives me an idea. She immediately wrote this story, put him on a diet of broccoli, of course.
Okay.
And so that was where that's how she got her idea for that story.
Right. And can you show us that postage stamp again, the illustration for the postage
yes.
stamp?
Bring it over. Can you see it? There's a poster that New Zealand Post did, and then here the three stamps are Margaret Mahi Lion in the Meadow one, a Harry McCleary one, and Greedy Cat.
Yep. As I lift a little bit higher, there you go. I see Greedy Cat on the left. Well, that's pretty illustrious company, actually, isn't it? It's three together. And so that was 1999 health stamp.
Yes, in 1999. That's right.
Oh, good. And schools, and they use Greedy Cat like as a project, and as well as for learning to read. And I think there's a school who did a mural, was it?
Yeah. They painted a mural of a new story. Joy wrote a new story called Greedy Cat and Story Day for Nayland Primary School in Nelson. And I think her daughter-in-law was teaching there at the time. And so she wrote this new story, and the children did a wonderful thing. They made their own illustrations. I think 10 pages turned into 10 wall panels for this library. So the school library now has 10 beautiful panels. This is one of them. And here you can see the little children who painted that one.
How gorgeous.
And so once when we were visiting that school, we went to especially see their beautiful work. I just love the way they do those Greedy Cats.
And wouldn't it be wonderful if one of those children grows up and becomes an illustrator?
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be wonderful? Oh, that's always the lovely thing. You always hope when you visit a school to and do drawings or read them stories, you hope that this is the spark that makes it seem as if it's possible.
Yes, I agree. All right. Thank you very much, Robyn, for showing us about your room and all the beautiful illustrations that you have there. Greedy Cats, he's just has a place in, I think, most homes in New Zealand, certainly in the hearts of New Zealand children. And thank you for bringing Joy Carley's stories to life for us with your beautiful illustrations.
Oh, thank you, Madeline. It's lovely to meet you. And have you seen where he comes? Where Greedy Cat comes from?
All right. Well, and until next time, until the next book, I'll see you then.
Thank you.
Bye bye.